we knew that non-citizens are voting in North Carolina elections. We knew that they're registering to vote. And the reason we know this, one of them is that there were prosecutions of non-citizens voting by the U.S. Attorney's Office. And we asked for a very simple thing, and that's all the records that the North Carolina election officials have regarding non-citizen registration and voting. Now, we've been looking at this all around the country, and we know they always have records because foreigners are always getting on the voter rolls because there's holes in the process, there's vulnerabilities. We just asked for these records 3 years ago, and North Carolina would not give them to us. And after a lawsuit was filed, a trip to the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals, who ruled in our favor, the case was remanded back down, and finally we settled it yesterday or this week with the North Carolina State Board of Elections to get all of the records of foreigners registering and voting in North Carolina. These are non-citizens, citizens of Guatemala, Canada, Germany, Russia, China. These are non-citizens who are coming to the United States, probably have green cards, some might be illegal, and they go to get a driver's license at DMV, and they're getting registered to vote. They're getting voter registration forms shoved in front of them and maybe like a county fair or something, and they're filling it out and they're getting registered to vote. And this is going on all over the country. I think everybody could agree that we don't want non-citizens voting in American elections. Well, I guess they can't all agree because there's 140 co-sponsors in the House of Representatives to allow this to happen. But nonetheless, I think most Americans would agree that it's a bad idea to give non-citizens the right to determine who American leaders are. Motor voter, some people remember from 1993, it was the top priority of the incoming president at the time, Bill Clinton. It's called motor voter. The technical term is the National Voter Registration Act of 1993. It actually contains a very fascinating provision, which is a public inspection of records provision. It's more powerful than a FOIA. It's more powerful than a Freedom of Information request. Because when you send a FOIA to maybe your county government, they have like 30 days or whatever North Carolina's law might be to send you back a pile of paper and sometimes charge you a whole arm and a leg to get it. That's not true under National Voter Registration Act. You actually, as an American citizen, have the right to go into an election office and publicly inspect, physically inspect election records related to list maintenance, how you keep the voter rolls clean. Well, that's a lot different than a FOIA. You don't have the right to walk into your county government office and start looking through public records on site. You do under the federal law. And so we've been using this federal law to get transparency around the country about how our elections are run. Sadly, North Carolina didn't want to comply with the federal law, and that's why they had to settle today. And they're actually paying a portion of our attorney's fees. I think that's an indication that they were in the wrong in this, and they shouldn't have been hiding information from the public. Secondly, they have 120 days to turn over all the records of non-citizen registration and voting, so we can get to the bottom of how it's happening. Is it a screw up by a local government official? Is it a third party that's been, like I said, working the fair and getting people registered regardless of citizenship? We just don't know. But that's why the information is important, so we can identify where the problem's coming from. We'll look at it and we'll issue a report like we have in other states. Like you can find our report, Stealing the Vote, out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Stealing the Vote. It's spelled like Steelers, not like theft. And we reported there that one of the problems appeared to be campus recruitment drives, where people are going on to college campuses, signing up students, many of whom are foreign nationals, to register to vote. A number of years ago, we sued Wake County. Public Interest Legal Foundation brought a case against Wake County for not cleaning up the voter rolls. But you know what it really revealed is that federal law is drastically limiting the ability of counties and states to maintain accurate voter rolls. If somebody moves away from Raleigh and moves to, say, South Dakota, there's almost no way that Raleigh is going to find out, that Wake County is going to find out that that person moved away unless they wave their arms and send a letter saying, hey, I moved. And so there's real breakdowns in the system involving counties like Wake and frankly Mecklenburg, where there's a lot of in and out. And any college town, whether it's where Boone is, Durham, there's real problems in these places with maintaining clean voter rolls. Hopefully, they won't get into a defensive crouch when we describe the causes of this problem and our views on how to fix it, because often election officials, they don't think anything ever goes wrong in their offices. I can understand that. That's how bureaucracies work. But we know that things are going wrong in election offices, and it's not always deliberate. It's not like some sort of conspiracy, but it's still going wrong, regardless of what the motive is. And in a good government attitude is you want to try to fix it. We have a website, publicinterestlegal.org, publicinterestlegal.org.